Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to Divinely Decked Tarot and Oracle Reviews done Stacy style. And today I'm super pumped to be sharing another unboxing. This is called the Tarot of the Shadow Realm, and it is by another creator that I absolutely love, Earth Moon Magic, Jen and Flo. So without further ado, let's get to it. So this deck has been out, I believe, for a year or two, and it's the first time that I'm getting it. And I got it as an add-on to a Kickstarter that I did on the Priestess Oracle. I just did a full box unboxing and review of that if you want to check it out on my channel. And this creator is like in my top three of like favorite decks of all time, and that's the Tarot of the Sacred Kingdoms. I've featured that card deck on my channel 1,000,001 times. So if you're new to me, if you go back and watch some of my other reviews, you will, most likely see it because I do mention it a lot, especially in different VRs. When I saw this available as an add-on when I was purchasing that from the Kickstarter campaign, I got really excited. So it arrived. I'm noticing that it's got a little damage to the box. It's disappointing, but it's not a deal breaker for me because, like, for me, it's not about the box, it's about the cards. So, the little Virgo in me, gets a little upset at the fact that it's not perfect. But then I just remind myself, wait a second, that's not the point. As long as the cards are in good quality and in good repair, then we are good. So let's open this up and see what we got. Very excited about this. I follow them a lot, but for whatever reason, I missed this one. It just wasn't in my, purview at the time. I did go through a, kind of a window of time where I just had a lot of, life. Life happens while you're busy making plans. And so I wasn't in, tarot buying mode, but here it is. So let's just kind of take a peek. It is a good quality box. It is the, pull the lid off. This is the box style that they often choose. And oh my God, I'm just seeing right now, there's this gorgeous red gilding. I'm so excited. And I'm seeing we've got some silver gilding. Oh, and it's like textured. I can feel the flowers on here. So really loving that. This creator really pays attention to detail. I'm always very impressed by that. Always really enjoy when I'm receiving something from them. So here I've got a little thank you card. We're so happy you resonated with the magic of this deck. Thank you for being here and supporting our indie publishing company. Co-create and vibe with us. So they give us a community to join. Mama Gaia friendly, made with recycled paper and eco-friendly vegan ink. If you dream of publishing your own deck, we'd love to see your art. We're always seeking inspiring collaborators and creators. Oh, that's cool. So collaboration is good. So let's kind of take a peek here. We have a guidebook that is Insights from the Shadow Realm, created by Earth Moon Magic, illustrations Florian Bernard, and writings Jennifer Agostini. All right, let's check this out. Okay, so right away we've got sort of like that higher quality newspaper feel to the pages. They give you spreads, different journeys to focus on. We've got the major arcana and the minor arcana. It looks like it's in color, but it's on the kind of a black background, which I like. It suits the mood of the tarot deck. So really liking that. So the color is just kind of like a pop of color. That's very cool. Swords. Let's see if there's coins. And we go all the way to the back. Okay, it looks like special cards. Apotheosis, Incarnation, and then they give us a free meditation. So very, very cool. Ooh, now it's time to leave the realm of the shadow. You are ready to step into the light. Okay, super excited. So let's just sort of see what we've got. So it looks like it is reversible. To a certain extent, if you're not paying too close attention. The all-seeing eye, the shadow eye. I think it's interesting that they've chosen red To feature the eye, of course, we think blood red, but I also think life force energy when I'm tapping into this. So let's just sort of take a peek and see what we got with this gorgeous gilding. Ooh, I love it. Okay, I think we're gonna just flip it over. Nope, we're not gonna flip it over. So it starts with the specialty cards. So here we have apotheosis. So when I think apotheosis, I think like apothecary, a healer, somebody who can, who alchemizes things, puts tinctures and things together in order to heal, to fix. I have no idea if that's what it means. We can look it up later in the book. Here's the incarnation card. So like choosing to come into this life, choosing the experience, even as scary as it can be, we're choosing it. And what I find really interesting is you've got all of this sort of gray energy, and the only pop of color is the red in her hair. Again, life force energy. Here we have the Fool card. So we've got a skeleton here. We've got a little monkey. So this imagery is quite dark to me, and that was something that when I noticed that it was the tarot of the shadow realm, I was like, okay, I'm not sure if this imagery is really going to resonate with me all that much, but I love the creator so much that I'm willing to give it a shot. So not my favorite imagery, but definitely it speaks to me. And he's got luggage, so like, he's getting ready to take a journey, and maybe he's taking a journey onto Middle Earth, right? Which is where we live. It's on the surface. Lower Earth is, the shadow work, and, sort of that higher Earth energy is the sky and the heavens type thing. So get ready to take a journey. Death takes a holiday. The Magician. So here he is half formed. So I feel like the Magician is really in, the story of the deck kind of thing. The Magician has chosen life, and now he's creating his own avatar, figuring out what is going to work for his particular journey. Here we have the High Priestess, and she's in the form of a cat. She looks like Catwoman. The Empress. Interesting. So the Empress actually looks a little more like, I want to say a little more like the High Priestess, with the exception of the colors. The two kind of pillars on either side, sitting on the throne, wearing the moon hat above her. So it's kind of an interesting twist. I wasn't anticipating that, so to speak. You're thinking the Empress is going to look different, but if it's of the shadow realm, maybe the Empress has a little more of that High Priestess quality, that High Priestess energy. Let's just take a peek here. So she does have pillars as well. She's got the moon highlighting her. We could say that, the sort of the cat crown that she's wearing could potentially, be seen as forming that moon, but not quite as obvious as the way this one is being depicted. And also this looks like almost like a Green Man energy, depending on how you look at it. Almost looks like it could be a Green Man face on there. There's a lot for me to unpack. This is definitely a deck that is going to get my subconscious juices flowing. I'm going to have fun diving into each of these cards. The Emperor. So yeah, I would say that looks like what I would picture an emperor to be in the lower earth, the lower world. The Hierophant. So here he's got a book that he is referencing. Again, we've got all this red, the blood, the life force. And I feel like it's almost like when you choose to incarnate, when you choose to come in, there's all this sort of life force that's floating around that you just need to kind of call forth to you in order to make yourself a little more physical, a little more tangible. So not as scary as we often think when we think the shadow world. The Lovers. So here you have a fully formed human figure, a human goddess with a kind of a hybrid creature. I don't know what he is. Cat, lion, panther, something along those lines. The Chariot. Oh, interesting. So this actually puts me in mind of the Strength card. But here we have the chariot. So the Black Panther is going to give this warrior, a ride to wherever it's going. And again, we have like not the blood moon, but we have like a red sky, the coming to life again. And we've got, the sun, this sun that is permeating all of it. Justice, Lady Justice coming through. So here they're using Justice as the 8 rather than as the 11. 9, the Hermit card. The Wheel of Fortune. Interesting, kind of a pirate-esque. I love the green in here, green for that abundance energy. Here's the Strength card. So we saw the back of this warrior in the chariot. Now we're seeing the front of this warrior. And this is definitely a lion, not a panther. So the chariot is very different than, I want to say, the companion that is often depicted in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot. Here we have the Hanged Man or the Hanged One. Death. I love that death is all in pink. So the pinks and the reds. So pink is one half of the heart chakra, the unconditional love, self-care, self-compassion, self-forgiveness. If, as we saw, the Fool being the skeleton who's taking the holiday, death is now bringing the energy of its change to the upper world, or the middle world, I should say, Middle Earth. I love the pink roses here, really symbolizing knowledge of the new, knowledge of the change and the shift. The roses are beautiful, and they have various different stages of beauty, and eventually they return back to the earth. And so I feel that all of this is saying that change is beautiful if you look at it in that way. Temperance, beautiful. So here the clouds are making up what appears to be water, but really this temperance angel is in the sky fully. The Devil, interesting. So what we're seeing here is you don't even pay attention to the devil. You're drawn first, and there's just one single human in this depiction, not two. You're drawn to this area of the card first, and then you have to look up, and then you see the devil. And isn't that really what shadow work is all about? And the egos, sometimes we think that we're responding or making choices out of our inner guidance, but then we suddenly find, as we look a little bit deeper, or we look at the whole picture, oh no, actually this is coming from ego. The Tower, interesting. So we have King Kong being represented here as part of the Tower, and that makes a lot of sense. King Kong destroyed everything, whether he wanted to or not. Just his sheer size created him, wherever he stepped, he crushed things. The Star card, beautiful. So here the Star is the alchemizer. And I love this because the Star is very visionary. And when we are talking about creating a vision, expanding into a vision, holding on to a vision, in many ways we are behaving as an alchemist, because we are telling the universe what it is that, sharing with the universe what it is that we want. And then the universal force brings it to us. Love that. Here's the moon. So we have the werewolf reflecting the moon energy. I love that. The sun. Oh, we have a dragon. We have two dragons. A dragon and his dragon companion. Dragon doggy. Dragon and the dragon dog. Judgment. Ooh, very cool. So almost like a scarecrow feel. I'm seeing in my mind's eye like the Klingon barge of the dead. Even though this isn't on a boat or anything, I feel like it's where people go. Excuse me, where people go after they've transitioned, after they've left the body, and they all go to one singular space where they can recharge and rest up and then be reborn anew, depending on their choices, depending on what is available to them. Third time's the charm. Here's the world card. So this almost gives me the feeling of like, okay, now he's sort of back in that shadow realm, and he's regaling all of his tales. You know, each of these worlds is representative of another life that he has lived, and the memory of the life, or the sort of the hologram, the holographic story of that life that he's going to share with people that are in the shadow world, the shadow realm. Ace of Wands. So Ace of Wands is inspired action, and we're seeing a creator here, inspired to put, you know, sort of like the veins and the sinews and the tissues all together to formulate something. Two of Wands. So this is a card of direction, and we are seeing, you know, to me it looks, I could be wrong, but it looks like the back of him looking into the sunlight, choosing the journey, saying yes to the journey. Three of Wands. So again, we have the ship, you know, the pirate ship. The captain of the ship is expanding his horizons, moving out into the new world. Four of Wands. So, oh, this is great. So this is spooky season that I am actually recording this in. So I would say this actually would qualify as a spooky season deck, with the haunted house, and we've got, you know, sort of the man in the moon with this kind of gremlin-y sort of face. Very cool. Five of Wands. So, you know, there's a disagreement that's happening here. With opposites, you know, that they're similar in so many ways, with the exception of like their colors. Six of Wands. So a card of victory. He's wearing the crown that he's earned. Seven of Wands. Interesting. This is like a warthog. Eight of Wands. Okay, so we have like a pterodactyl type of beast that is getting ready to convey, or is conveying a message, conveying it pretty loudly. Nine of Wands. We have like a Hulk image, Hulk character. 10 of Wands. Oh, interesting. He's climbing the mountain that we often see. We often see a hill, or them being sort of on the hill and carrying the burdens to be able to get up the hill. Here we're actually seeing him almost reaching the top. We're seeing the bird's eye kind of view of it, hanging off the mountain, climbing up. That's really cool. Page of Wands. So here she is. Well, she looks like she's kind of alchemizing a bit too. It looks like she's got like a doll or something on her lap. There's a cup of blood here. Of course, we've got some skulls. We've got some other containers of things. Yeah, it feels like she's mixing some things up. She's trying a little experiment. Knight of Wands. Queen of Wands. Ooh, she's feisty. She's fierce. King of Wands. Ace of Cups. This makes me think of like tattoo artistry. An initiation. And I'm going to say very provocative, very suggestive of, I want to say, that initiatory energy, or, you know, implying self-love. We've got a lot of roses here. You know, very suggestive and provocative in the actions that she's taking. That's how I'll say that. So I like that there's some of that physicality being represented. Two of Cups. Oh, interesting. So rather than them looking like they're in love, it's almost as though they are looking into each other's souls, like, oh yeah, I see you. You're a mirror image of me, and I'm a mirror image of you on the inside, but not necessarily on the outside. And what are we going to do about this? So whether it is romantic in nature or it becomes something else, it's definitely about a curious partnership that has purpose. And Three of Cups, celebration. I love that I'm only seeing two skeletons, but we are seeing other people in the background. So definitely, you know, like the pirate ship kind of energy. Four of Cups. So the demon is kind of stuck in the dark room or the basement. He doesn't look like he's protecting anything. It almost looks like he's being held there, or feeling not a part of. Five of Cups. Yeah. It's like saying a prayer, a mantra, or honoring someone who has gone on before. Six of Cups. That feels very gentle, loving. A couple that has had a good run, and they're sort of saying goodbye to one another. Maybe even saying goodbye to this journey. Seven of Cups. Oh yeah, this is a great spooky season deck. Eight of Cups. Nine of Cups. So a lot of alchemy here, scrying in the crystal ball, looking at how she can get her wishes met. 10 of Cups. Page of Cups. So that's interesting. Like a father and his child. Knight of Cups. Oh, that's very fitting. Again, we're seeing a couple, but this couple, the knight is darker grayer, almost like a statuesque version, and here you see the maiden coming with a lot of color and brightness and lightness, earth energy versus the shadow realm. So a blending of the divine masculine and feminine. Queen of Cups. Ooh, she's gorgeous. I like her. King of Cups. I don't know why I feel like Dostoevsky when I look at that. For those of you who like Russian literature. Ace of Swords. That's really interesting. So Ace of Swords for me is always about an inspired thought. He just looks like he's in pain. So maybe trapped in his own mind, and this is the opportunity for him to get out of it. Also, if we look at it from that Shadow Realm's perspective, he's been given the opportunity to have this more human journey, a human existence. And perhaps this is the exploring what, in theory, in his mind, exploring what that might look or feel like without him actually having taken the step to make it happen yet. He's just trying things on for size. Two of Swords. It's like, what's the other? I'm getting all sorts of literature references here. Count of Monte Cristo. That's what this is making me think. Three of Swords. Heartbreak, agony. I also see the Three of Swords as like a self-care, but here it's almost like her mind is taking her over. Like the pain that she's feeling, it's like the mind is making it worse than what it actually is, almost. Four of Swords, rest. Yeah, so it's almost like Frankenstein, right? Like we're seeing, the figure in the Ace of Swords. We're now seeing that figure taking a rest from becoming mortal, coming into the body. Five of Swords. Ooh, we have the Joker. Very much the Heath Ledger Joker here. Five of Swords. Six of Swords. Oh, beautiful dragon. Coming to save the day. Seven of Swords. Interesting. Yes, playing cards. A trickster. Eight of Swords. Nine of Swords. 10 of Swords. This is interesting, actually. It's like the electric chair. Ending one form and beginning a new form. Page of Swords. Wow, that's a big ass Page of Swords. That also is like planning a strategy for how you're moving forward. That's a big guy getting ready to take on the world, literally. Knight of Swords, spiky. Queen of Swords, yeah, very much thinking, advancing the thought. King of Swords. Ace of Coins. Oh, interesting. Some kind of creature, almost like a little bit of like a gremlin-esque energy. Two of Coins, juggling. Three of Coins. Oh, kind of a circle of initiation. That's interesting. 4 of coins. Huh. He's like a fantastical rabbit kind of a creature with money. 5 of coins. 6 of coins. 7 of coins. 8 of coins. Oops. I'm missing a... Nope. Maybe I... No, okay. Looks like I'll have to go through it one more time just to be sure, but looks like I'm missing a 9 of coins in the deck, so I'll have to reach out about that. Okay, so we have a 10 of coins. Page of coins. Knight of coins. Queen of coins. And King of coins. Let me just see if there's... Yeah, no. All right, so we're missing a 9 of coins. All right, so in true Stacy style, we are going to shuffle these cards up. And, I love the way they shuffle. They are a matte finish. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. They're a nice matte finish, a nice matte feel. They're a really decent card quality, stock quality. They shuffle beautifully. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to shuffle and see how this deck wants to work with you, if you are called to work with it. Oh, interesting. Ace of Wands. So this was one of the ones that I was drawn to initially. So the Ace of Wands is that inspired action. And so I feel like this card deck is going to always inspire you to take action, to look into the lower depths of you, or that, the subconscious realm, to understand yourself in deeper ways, and to be able to acknowledge that one of the reasons that you are here right now is because your soul chose to have a human experience journey. And we often can feel victimized by life. We often can feel like, life happens to us rather than through us and for us. And I feel like this deck is going to give us a completely different perspective, that the shadow, the lower aspects of ourselves chose to have this life to work through some of these things, to make their life better, to have the experience of being incarnated in the body, to feel form in a different way. And, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I would say, like having skin, like you always start with a skeleton. Well, then you can put whatever kind of skin you want over top of it. You're always able to remake and reinvent yourself. And I feel like this deck is always going to encourage that kind of energy with you, encourage you to look at life in that way. So let's just sort of see what their written explanation is. So passionate, energetic, and creation. I create from a place of passion and fire within. It is through creation I stay energized and passionate. My hands delicately hold whatever it is I bring my attention to, and I create from a space of awareness and a burning desire. I spark an inspiration in you. Can you feel it in your gut? The burning desire for something. This desire is emerging rapidly. Notice the little spark in the center of my card. This could very well turn into quite the flame. So here's the spark, and it can turn into quite the flame. Are you ready for what it's about to bring you? Observe yourself as you create. You are, dear one. Be like a cast spell, a medium of metamorphosis. This is where the spark will ignite into a flame. If you choose to take action in a direction opposing what the fire within is calling, I will be watching over you to ensure you return to your path. Very cool. All right, guys. So that is our episode of Divinely Decked Tarot of the Shadow Realms by Earth Moon Magic. So fun to be able to share this with you guys. I'm excited to kind of work with this, especially for spooky season. Not sure that this is actually going to be a deck that I'm going to use on a consistent basis all the time, but this is definitely a deck that I'm going to pull out for, I want to say, very specific reasons. And I feel that, each person is going to be called to work with this deck in a different way. For me, this is going to be issue specific, and it's going to be the type of issue that is going to inform, where I'm using it, what I'm choosing to use it for, and that kind of thing. But I'm finding it really cool, and I don't believe that I have anything quite like this in my collection. So happy to have shared that with you guys. And until we see you for another episode of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, I will say we will see you on the flip side, and transform well. That's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was great to connect with you guys. Please like, subscribe, and comment for more content like this. And feel free to follow me on Blue Sky for even more content every single day. Can't wait to see you guys next week for another installment of Black Feather Couture, Divining the VIP Life.